the Jewelry District, a podcast by JCK, brought to you by De Beers. Today, Rob Bates and Victoria Gamalski talk to fine jewelry designers and sisters Lorraine Schwartz and Ofira Sandberg.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Jewelry District. This is Victoria Gamalski, Editor-in-Chief of JCK and jckonline.com, calling in from Los Angeles. And I'm with
Rob Bates, contributing editor to JCK and jckonline.com, calling in from New York City. How are you? You seem smiley and good.
I'm smiley and good. We're thrilled to have Lorraine Schwartz and Ofira Sandberg, some of the best designers in our business. And one of the reasons we're talking to you, many reasons, but is because we're going to be seeing you at the luxury show in Las Vegas in a week's time. This is we're recording this obviously earlier in May, but when this airs, it's just about 7 days out before we all gather in Vegas. We're thrilled to have you, Ofira and Lorraine. Welcome.
Hi. We're excited to be here.
We're thrilled. It's so wonderful. So we'll get to the Vegas bit, but we always start out with background questions, and we want to hear. And I don't think I really know much about your origins. Tell us about where you grew up, and how you got eventually into jewelry. I think, and then we'll inch our way forward from there. But yeah, where are you both from?
So I was born here. We're
In
third
New York.
generation, in New York. We're third generation diamond family. Our grandfather started in the business in the 50s, maybe even earlier, with my uncles, my great uncles from Israel, who are Fuzailov, and they opened up offices around the world. And then he moved here, and my mother was born in Israel. And when I was 6 years old, we moved to Israel. And my sister was born in Israel.
Aha.
Yes. And so we did grow up. My grandfather had separated from my uncles and opened up offices around the world. But unfortunately, in the 80s, when the market, because of Japan and the whole diamonds dropped from 60,000 for a D flawless to 17,000, he went through a really hard time, and he was a very respectable man. He was president of a community. He was our really like our idol and also our role model. Our mother was our biggest idol, but my grandfather was an incredible man who never, even though things were hard, he worked, and his name was everything to him. And it wasn't easy, coming from such a prominent, really respected family. And when he went through hard times, you really saw the what the industry, the good and the bad of the industry. But we were really, really young, and we kind of swore that we would never go into this business because of that.
Wow.
And it was really interesting what happened because so when
I was born in Israel, but when I was two, we moved to New York, and we grew up.
I was
grew up
12,
here.
yeah, we moved back to New York, and a little bit more. But anyway, we moved back to New York, and I lived in Texas for a year because my parents opened up a diamond office there. And then we came back to New York, and never, ever, ever did we think that we were going to go
No,
into this
we actually
industry.
had the opposite
Yeah,
intention.
I was going to go into PR and fine arts, and actually I was in college, and I had to do a PR project, and it was a fashion show, and it did really well. So I started doing these fashion shows at the clubs in the city and getting paid for them. We were like the main attraction. And it wasn't until I was like in the end of school that my parents were like, "Oh, come help us in the office." And it was a hard time. It wasn't like they weren't like the big, jewelry company that they were. And the industry was rough. They weren't the nicest to me at the time. And I went in, I thought that I would, help them in the clerical work, but the first thing I did was sell a 10-carat diamond. Like I gravitated towards that. And then I started to work with diamonds, and I was traveling, going to stores, selling to stores. I was really a diamond dealer. And Ofira, she was younger. She was in school still, but she was always around it.
I grew up with diamonds around me.
Yeah. And my mom, she passed away really young. She passed away at 55, but if anybody who knows her, and a lot of people in the industry know her, because we're Bukharian, half Bukharian Jews, but we are from the old school Bukharian that really left there in the 1920s because they had to leave because they were, prominent Jewish families and they
Yeah.
were forced to walk to Israel at that time because they took everything from them.
So our grandparents at age 3 and 2 walked
To
from
Israel, yeah,
Bukhara to
yeah,
Israel.
yeah. So
Bukhara, just put me on the map. Remind me, because
Uzbekistan.
Yeah, currently it's Uzbekistan.
And
like
there is a
Desire.
lot of people in the industry who are actually from Uzbekistan. A lot of them came after communism was there, and so it's more Russian. But our families left in the my grandparents when they were little kids in 1920,
Wow.
and so I think
Settled in Israel.
Yeah.
having that background of that country, of the Middle East, of Israel, and our mother was very much like she was such an intellectual, very the most elegant woman in the world, and culture was so important to her. So she started taking us to museums at like 2, 3 years old, and we traveled with her, and she was a woman who could wear like Armani with like wood bangles and diamonds mixed in at the time.
Everything
like
looked
cheap,
chic.
and she would take
Everything was
plastic
chic and
the
elegant
most
and-
elegant. So I think that just being able to see her and her sense of style, and it's really the eye. If anybody asks us what we got and what differentiates us,
Yeah.
I think it's an eye. It's being able to think outside the box, which is really a gift, and we're so thankful to her for giving that to us because she's living with us every day through that. Every time we think or we create or somebody wears something, she's our
She's always in the back of our head.
always, and how she would wear it and how she would do it. And
Mhm.
she really is the reason that we are who we are, and she was always the most authentic. So everything we do is about authenticity. Everything we do is about relationships. And our grandfather, like he was God to us, and even when he went through a hard time, his name, his reputation, even though it was really hard, like going from royalty in a way and all of a sudden being, not people weren't the nicest necessarily. He kept his stature. He was president of the community. He
He
cared.
always
His
helped
name.
people.
He
Always
was
helped
amazing.
people.
I think for me personally, part of my success is being driven by him and his name, and rebuilding it, and just like an out to him, like you made me this strong. You made me realize that I can do anything. And then my mother just, personified that in every way. And she really was like this woman that walked into the room and people go like, wow, she was so beautiful and elegant. So yeah, I think, but we didn't think we would do this.
Right. And was it just the two of you growing up, or do you have other siblings?
We have a brother in between us, but he is the
He's the
intellectual.
sandwich.
He's the intellectual. He
He's an
is not,
academic,
yeah, he's very much
philosopher.
yeah.
And I actually was in television production after college and had kind of a transitional phase in my life where I wasn't sure where I wanted to go. And I started working with Lorraine, and when she started designing,
Yeah, she's always been, Ophira's
and we
always
just
been with
kind
me
of,
with
that's
my
how it
journey.
all grew.
But actually, it's funny because Ophira was always with me. Then she moved to LA for a little bit,
Mhm.
and it was actually Pharrell who pushed her to do her own line
Mhm.
because I had met him in my office.
We met him years before that.
Yeah, I met him at 25 years ago. He
Wow.
came up to the office and literally like we were both on our, journey, and he was looking for Yellow Diamond, and he was starting, I was starting, and I had already started to like build like people noticed us. Barbara Streisand had just become my client, and you know, it was funny. People just found me like,
We became very close to him. He bought everything.
yeah, at the time he bought like a lot
Lorraine's
of
so
stuff.
good at
I
educating
I think
clients.
education is the most. I tell everybody, learn and then come to me. Go see everything, and then I want you to be educated. And I also educate them because it's my reputation that's on the line. So it's very important to us to educate our clients about what we have. But it was really funny because Pharrell came in 2001. And the week before that, I had given Fred Leighton a stone on Memo, a pink diamond, and he had it for like a month. And I was like, Murray, and I loved him because, I had started making some jewelry at that time that for me, and he was buying it. So I was like, Murray, what's going on with that stone? And he's like, oh, Lorraine, I'm sorry. It's taking so long. By the way, the client is coming Thursday. This was Monday. And she wants to meet you. And I'm like, she wants to meet me. I just gave you the stone on Memo. Why? And by the way, it's Barbara Streisand. So the next thing you know, I'm literally going to Barbara's apartment in the city with Murray, which was so weird. Like, I don't even know why that happened. It just happened. My mother or someone was watching over us, and she bought the diamond. And 2 weeks later, I got a call, and she's like, "Hello, Lorraine. It's Barbara." I'm like, "Barbara who?" She's like, "Barbara Streisand. Murray gave me your number." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, she literally hounded him to give me my number and told him I'm going to go to her directly. And then she became our client. And then Ofira and I started to go to her. And, everything just happened. And then literally right after that, Pharrell came. And we both grew together. And there is a correlation when you are, producing music and when you're designing jewelry. There's something in the frequency, I feel, that really comes together. And we really learned a lot together. And he's really been so important in our lives. And Ofira and him became like best friends. And he really pushed her to do her own line. He's like, "Ofira, just do your own line." And she did. And he wore her bracelets for years,
He literally took them off of my hand one day and was like,
I need to wear,
I need to buy these. I need to wear them. I
and he
need to
wore
have
like
them."
7 of them on a hand, and they're documented in so many videos. And actually, Ofira did start her line, and it was really complementary to mine because as I grew, at first I started with like bangles and hoops and dangles, but as I grew, I had to elevate my jewelry because I was doing something at a time when nobody did. People were wearing deco jewelry then, and more. And I wanted cooler stuff that I could make. I wanted cool diamond hoops, and I wanted bangles, and I wanted dangles, and so that's what really built. And I wanted it against evil eye that wasn't fake. I wanted it from real, natural topaz, and I wanted it like really in diamonds. I didn't want. So those are the things that really, in the beginning, along with my stone knowledge. But as I got to meet more people and royal families and, who needed sets and, so I needed to elevate. So my stuff became much higher jewelry. Whereas Ophira stuff was great. So when a client would come to me, they'd always end up with 3, 4 pieces from Ophira because it was really complimentary and it was stuff they can wear all the time. So she really built an incredible business within my business. And, it's part of the brand, but her own designs and under
The
Ophira
first
Jewels.
thing I made was a diamond toe ring.
Yeah, for
Because-
Beyonce.
What year was that? Like, what year did you found the business?
Oh, well, I mean, that was before I actually founded the business. It was
She
kind of
designed
making
it. It was for
things-
Beyonce. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I made like anklets, and we make body chains. Like one thing led to another, and that's when Lorraine really pushed me, and Pharrell really pushed me to really go and do a lot.
And every one of my people don't know this, but Taylor Swift has worn a lot of her stuff on the red carpet into Grammys.
Yes.
Beyonce's worn it so many important times, Pharrell, Blake, and a lot of them buy it,
Angelina
and
did.
everybody's
There's
worn
been
a
a lot
Ophira's
of
jewel.
moments.
It's just not as known because people right away credit me for it, but she's been a huge
And there's
part.
times when we do things together. We do like collaborative.
Oh, we have
pieces.
some very
We call
famous
it
pieces.
Sister Act.
Yeah. Like,
How would you describe your design philosophies? I mean, do you ever clash when it comes to that, or do you feel like you have a different
We
point of
always
view?
have input on each other's designs.
we think very much the
yeah.
same because we're best friends. We're sisters. We're best friends. We have the same friends mostly. Even though
We
the
go
age
out
gap,
together, we work together,
it's
we
really
travel
funny.
together.
Her daughter is the love of my life, so it's
Aw.
like very, very much. We're very, very close. Our whole family is very close.
First of all, I should say my grandfather was also in the business, so maybe my grandfather and your grandfather did business. You never know, right?
Yeah.
But you guys were also when you came in. I'm assuming there weren't that many women in the business. Was that something that you had to deal with, or
It was hard. Now it's really funny because at the time, I didn't. It wasn't a factor. I kind of liked it. I liked the challenge. First of all, I'm tough, and second of all, I'm Israeli, American Israeli, and so it was hard though because and not only just being a woman, but coming from a family that was so successful that had lost money. A lot of people were not the nicest at the time. The same people that today are like, "Oh, Lorraine, it wasn't easy." And it's only something that I can talk about now because while you're in it, you don't want to ever discuss that. You're going forward, forward, forward.
I think also as a woman, we have an eye for things that most men don't.
100%. And not only do we have an eye, but we also make sure that the stones that we use are really beautiful. Like, we don't use deep stones. We won't buy a deep stone because we don't want to see all the weight on the bottom. And our clients really appreciate that. And also because of our aesthetic, we love certain stones that maybe a regular person wouldn't like. We love, so we've made portrait cuts very popular. We've made, rose cuts. I love rose cuts. So we make those very popular.
Things that you might consider
I love
off shape.
off shape. I love a triangle. I love a nude color. We've actually changed the color of made the nude color very, very popular because all our clients love them and they're so understated and chic. We changed the color of emeralds. I don't know if you remember, but in 2009, people were wearing really dark emeralds. And we did a fitting with Angelina together where we went there and we tried on so many. And I said, no diamonds, just emeralds. And she wore the emeralds and it changed the color of
That
emeralds.
color just
It's
pops.
so bright. It's so beautiful. You don't need diamonds around it. And it makes your face like pop when you wear that color. And now that's what the market
And it
wants.
changed the market. I mean, I remember going to trade shows afterwards and people be like, "Oh my God, what you did for emeralds, what you did for emeralds for
As
us."
a
So-
side note, that those earrings, because they were these giant pear-shaped earrings, right? I did a piece for the International Herald Tribune, I think around 2009-10, citing those earrings as a pivot.
100%. They changed the color and the Colombian and the bright because I don't understand why people were buying the darker ones before. You would go out at night and it would be black,
If it didn't have diamonds, you couldn't wear it.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't
No.
see it.
And actually, it's so funny because just last Monday night, 2 days ago, Isha Ambani, she wore the ring that Angelina Jolie wore that night, which I kept as part of my archives, and may end up with them, but as a necklace with her own jewelry because she asked me what I would do to, you know, add something to it, and we made that choker, and it was like it was amazing. Yeah, it was beautiful. And that's really a special stone. So that we love when people see something unique and it builds like momentum into that. Like we love paraibas, we love paparachas, we love the nude color diamonds, we love the portrait cuts, we love unique shapes, because we want our clients to feel like they have something extraordinary, not what everybody else has.
Special.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by De Beers. It's not every day a bridal offering reflects love the way desert diamonds do. Both are completely natural. Both take time to form. And no two are ever alike. That's what makes these rings mean so much more. From sunlit whites to golden hour champagnes and sunrise blushes. Colors as natural as love itself. This year, introduce your bridal clients to Desert Diamonds. A diamond is forever. Visit adiamondisforever.com to learn more.
So was Barbara Streisand the first celebrity that you kind of dealt with, and how did you?
So
kind
she
of get
actually
into her
wasn't.
orbit? She was not.
Before I had my jewelry in 1994, when I was much younger, I had a client who I'd met named Lorraine, like myself, and she had bought a diamond. Just, I wasn't doing privates at the time, but I had a couple. And she had called me one day and she's like, Lorraine, I have a really good friend I want to introduce you to. She's looking for a diamond. Her fiance wants to buy her one, and it's David Bowie and Iman. So literally, Iman came, looked just to get an idea of what she liked. I loved the yellow diamonds. Then I went to meet David, and it's so funny because I walked into the studio and I had never worked with a celebrity yet, and I'm going down the steps just to say hi to him, and he's so charming and so nice. And of course, I trip on the step and fall right on top of him. And I'm like, oh my God, but he could not have been nicer. We sat in his little salon there for like an hour, talked about so many different things. He bought the diamond, invited us to his concert. We made all the jewelry for her wedding. And then they invited me to the wedding. But I, at that point, didn't understand celebrity world. And I didn't go because I felt like I would be stepping, outside. And also, I didn't ask for any press. I didn't want to take the privilege of having made these pieces and use it for my own personal gain at the time. As time passed, like in 2001, when everything started, I realized that they actually want you to talk about it. And we only talk about celebrities that want us to. We'll never divulge anything that they're feeling is personal to them. We know when somebody's getting married, we know when somebody's having a baby, we know so many personal details, but we will never share it. And I think people trust us. We know what they're wearing, we know when. And if they are okay with us sharing, then we'll share it. And if they're not, then we never say how much something costs, if it's their own personal stuff. People assume, which I find sometimes ridiculous. You have no idea what it is. How are you estimating this price?
Or size or any of that.
Yeah, but that was my first. And then Barbara was my second celebrity. And
Those are
then
big names to start with, I'll tell you.
yeah, and then she was amazing, and I love her. And we started to build her a color diamond collection with her, and she loves her stones. She actually has an incredible collection of diamonds, color diamonds, white diamonds, and we started to go to LA more. And through travel, we were together all the time. Another client of mine, Carol Bayer Sager, called us one night, and she's like, "Lorraine, Ofira, can you come over tonight? We have a friend who wants to buy some jewelry for you." And literally, she's like, "I have to take you to Elizabeth." We had no idea who she was talking about. And the next thing you know, we're in a car, and she calls them and they hung up, and then she calls again. And the next thing you know, we're in a car, and we're like, she goes, "You know Elizabeth Taylor?" And the two of us
We
are
were
on our
like,
way to Elizabeth
"What?"
Taylor. And it was so surreal because our mom loved Elizabeth.
And she had passed away a few years before that.
So we go to Elizabeth's house, and Tim, who is one of our dearest friends today, but at the time he was her chief of staff, right hand, everything. He opens the door and he's very like aloof, and he's like, "Who are you?" And he won't even let Patricia come in. It's because she was the one who sold them her messes and scarves and everything. And then he put Ophira in her art room with all the important artists.
Picasso's, Matisse, Renoir, all these
Everything.
incredible.
And I go up to her
paintings.
bedroom and I sit with her for a while, and she's amazing, amazing. And she buys a whole bunch of like bangles and Against Evil Eyes and
And then I was
earrings
allowed
and
to come
dangles.
up
And then
too,
Ophira came
'cause
up.
we passed the test.
Yes, and she met her. And then the next morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, I get a call. "Hello, Lorraine, it's Tim. Elizabeth would like you to come over again today." So we went over again, and she wanted some more pieces, and Elizabeth Arden had to buy her something, so they chose. But she became really also an incredible mentor to us, a very, very good friend, very, very good friend. And she was older. This was in her late 60s already. But we became very close. We spent some very special times together. We were actually the last place she came. We were in LA for an award show, and we were going to she was going to come to the hotel for some, food. And then
And she loved to play with jewelry.
and then she basically they said she's not feeling well, so I had ordered the food that she loved already, and so I took it down, and at that point she was already on, with oxygen. She came up and we spent some time, which was nice because right after that she went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And she, unfortunately passed away. But she was so important to me that I literally bought back a bracelet in her. I bought a lot of her art, and at the auction at her 75th birthday, which no 70th birthday, which we were there in Beverly Hills, I had worn this bracelet that I just made, and this was my beginning. And it has these like dangles and all diamonds. And she saw it on my hand. She goes, "What's that?" And she literally took me on her table to show everyone and says, "Who's gonna buy me this?" Elizabeth was amazing. She knew how to sucker you out of jewelry, and she also knew how to give you. She was so generous. And so she's trying, but everybody already bought her presents, and it was a big piece. So she took it off my hand and she's wearing it all night. And then the next morning at the end of the night, she gives it back to me. And the next morning, again, I get a call, and it's Elizabeth. And she goes, "Lorraine, darling, I know who's going to buy me that bracelet. I'm going to buy me that bracelet." So she bought the bracelet, and then at the auction, I bought it back. And I bought back some of the jade bangles no, I didn't buy those. Kim bought. I bought back some
The
pearl stuff
earrings.
she had. Oh, and I bought the
The
mic
earrings.
top earrings, even though I didn't make them, and I could have made those for a fraction of the cost. I literally felt her kicking me and saying, Just buy them, and I bought them, and I own the Mike Todd earrings now.
Are they the sapphires? Remind me, what are they?
No,
Or
those are the diamond earrings, the ones that were fake originally, and then Mike Todd made them in real for her.
She's photographed a
She's
lot
the
of them.
most photographed in them, and they're like the Gerald does. They're beautiful, and yeah, so we have those now, and it's part of my history. Like she was such an important part to me.
what can we expect to see from you in Las Vegas at Luxury?
I think that you'll be able to see like a full-on collections. Hopefully, if it's all made in time. um, I've always been so small and kept it really private. All of our clients buy my pieces and her pieces, and it's been great. But I feel like there's been more of a demand for it, and people really love it and want to see more of it. So that's what
I'm
we're
wearing her
doing.
earrings today. I only wear me and Ofira, so it's great because when I want like the gold and stuff. So this is her earrings.
These
And
are
then
my
she-
Cosmos hoops.
These are all her
And
bracelets.
these bracelets. Of course, I wear Lorraine's
This is-
against evil eye everywhere.
Yeah, this is some of her
Eye protection.
her rings that she has ear
This is
cuffs to
my
match.
power ring,
So this is a very empowering that a lot of the celebrities love because it's pow, it's like strength.
It's like a power
And it's
ring.
men and women gravitate towards that.
Mhm.
These are amazing hoops that I live in, and all my clients do because they weigh nothing, and they're like a cool shape, and they have diamonds inside and out.
We
But
both love hoops.
We're hoop
We have a
girls.
very similar aesthetic, but I make it more like an everyday kind of wearable thing.
She does a lot of gold and diamonds
Yeah.
18
and other colors. Oh,
18 karat. Yeah.
You have favorite things to do in Vegas? Do you go to Vegas a lot or no?
Yes.
We don't go to
Yeah.
Vegas a lot. We
You
go
don't?
for the shows
Yeah.
You go
usually.
for the show.
Just for the
Yeah,
show.
we love to go to the shows. We love to have dinner with friends, and we like to gamble a little.
We like a little bit of everything.
So can we find you at the baccarat or poker tables at the
Probably I'll be blackjack,
Yeah.
because we go like a group of us, and it's
Yeah.
usually the diamond dealers, and some of the jewelers, and Vegas is a fun time.
It's a great time to
It's
see people
really
we
a big
haven't
deal.
seen in a
We've
long time.
never done a show. So for us to do luxury, and we weren't sure if we were going to do, couture because it was something that we were talking about for a few years, and luxury. And we just felt because of our diamond world and also, because of what we do, we felt that luxury for the first time, just to
Yeah.
try it out
Yeah.
and see how that world feels.
We're
and
used to
retail.
going to shows, not doing the show ourselves. So
Right. Well, this is so thrilling.
Right.
I
yeah,
can't
it's
wait. I'm gonna be
exciting. We're
there.
excited.
Opening day is May 27th. It's a Wednesday. I'll be there in the morning. I'll come find you ladies.
Can't wait.
We're
can't
looking
wait to
forward.
Can't wait to see the goods. I think we'll wrap up. We're right here at our time, but can't wait to see you in Vegas. Thank you both so
Guys,
much.
thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to The Jewelry District. I'm Natalie Comet, the producer of the podcast. Our editor is Riley McCaskill. If you liked what you heard, please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you may listen. Any views expressed in this podcast do not reflect the opinion of JCK, its management, or its advertisers. Thanks for listening. We hope you join us next time on The Jewelry District by JCK.